Hi friends! This is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Bad End Theater. This is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, oh my god, go see 1! Poke Totoro. See part 1. Is this cute? It's so cute. I say cute, but like, note the content warning. Blood, gore, violence, strong language. It has it all. It's great. And it's so cute. I love it. And it's so interesting. So interesting. I was barely able to commentate. So I was just kind of chugging through things. Even though I was chugging through things. As we enter here. I think... Yes, it saved it. We had 12 endings. Oh my god. So we're gonna go back through, I think the Overlord is where we left off last time. Let's do it one more time and not do possessive and see what happens. Boop. So, grant them a day off. Skip. So there was nothing new there. Got it. Got it. Oh, because he was hungry and disloyal. Got it. So skip here. Grant them a day off. Skip. Let her stay for a while. Yeah. Then the cuteness. Oh. This is new? Okay. Oh, he killed Maiden, so the Maiden was still clicked. Okay, I need to go back. The hero starts babbling insecure apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoing, but you're far beyond hearing that kind of bullshit. You have had it with these humans, always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there's nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in horror. You are alone. Oh, wrathful Overlord end. Okay. So let's go and... Oh, because he was dutiful once. But the hero ends up over here. How? Okay, let's go down this guy's route one more time. Demon Underling, in service of the Overlord. Let's actually gobble her up and go down this route. And last time we put on a show, change your mind and leave. You figure if people are always this upset at just the sight of you, they won't fully appreciate any terrible acts you'd commit. Also, they might fight back. They probably wouldn't end well. You're just one little underling after all. This little day out has been adequately refreshing. You return to the castle, think you can take a nap. Friends wake you up. Rude. Last time we were disloyal. She's actually not so bad, you guys. Friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle. You understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. This is a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. Hoo-hoo-hoo! Faithful underling end. Ah. So, that quickly we've already gotten 2 endings in just like 2 minutes. But it's so cool! Okay. Let's go back to the maiden. Introduce yourself. Surprised to see him at first, but you realize he must have sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any real danger. The hero expresses his relief that the whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone news of your safety. Everlord allows you two to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. You're about halfway back to the village when you feel something is off. Unable to shake your concern, you look back over your shoulder. You stop in your tracks. The castle is engulfed in flames. Is the Overlord alright? You can't return to the village like this. You have to know. You have to make sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fists against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero can pull off this kind of thing. You start to cough. The smoke is too thick. You can hardly breathe. You realize you haven't got much time left now. You desperately head towards the stairs to save yourself. But the fire spread faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. Can't help but laugh. What a joke! A maiden saving the Overlord. If you just stayed true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. Oh! You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. Selfless maiden and B. Oh my goodness, the maiden. Jeez. Such a self-sufficient woman and like in such horrible circumstances. This is the bad end theater though. Okay. Can I choose one? Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Gets involved. Okay, so diplomatic, polite, disloyal. See what happens there. You're the Overlord, you live in the castle, blah blah blah. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called hero. Tell them to get back to work. Give them a lecture about responsibility. Just so cute. You thought you told that underling to do their job, not drag strangers in your room. Looks like they took an unauthorized break away from the castle. You scold them, but ultimately you're a little interested in the guests, so you let them off easy. That underling's not so bad. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. Let her stay for a while. All of the flirting. I love the flirting. Like, that explains why people are very grateful. You're surprised to hear her. Thank you. You always thought humans would be violent and unreasonable, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke about how you've been lying to her the whole time. Super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. People in her village are all a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. But you're interrupted by another human in your doorway. It's time. This time it's a hero. Apparently searching for the maiden. Captured? Not at all. After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that the whole thing is a misunderstanding. Apologizes for the trouble. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised that you have one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. let them go. You're certain that she'll return to spend time with you. You just have to trust in that. You decide. Bye. And with that, the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while. You almost fall asleep when the maiden and hero burst into your room, frantically trying to communicate something to you. You're told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised. How nice of humans to care. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was the first underling's plan. Everyone is shouting over each other now, and it's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. You have no idea that your servants would let their ambition cloud their judgment, and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that make you feel very overlord-like? Mm-hmm. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. The group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A and suddenly slam your door shut. You, the maiden, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die. Burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. You could have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. You notice the maiden crying. Would she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration, you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. Uh-huh. They cry that they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. Take retribution. Aha! Here's the thing. Merciful. You release the underling. Killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. Overlord's true end. Fascinating. Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end? You say to yourself, what was the point of all of my effort if the true ending is this terrible? You must have forgotten where you are. Where you were. This is the bad end theater. Is the pain setting in? But you should have been well aware of what you've been shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grew attached to my little cast. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that here in my theater. My lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon my interruption. You're making great progress. Keep going. The choice is to continue on to the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. Oh! That. I love the fourth wall break, you aren't just chugging through endings. A reminder of there's always going to be bad. There's a true ending. There is an entity who is owning this whole theater. An entity who controls the cast of characters. And you are a guest playing through and making them go through the actions of all of these bad endings. And it's just a reminder of stop and think about it. You're causing the suffering. Wow! I love it. 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 So good. So good. Okay. What? What? Okay. 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 Just trying to think of what's next. I've gotten less of the maiden story. Let's try the underling again. Okay. What if you say let's not hear? You tell your friends you're actually totally not serious about the whole thing. You're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably there's nothing to do. The others nod, but don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'etat would be more effort than it's worth. Hold on. Voice. But you're still gotta be a rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. Change in atmosphere excites you. Okay. So you're not part of the... You're in a good mood today and are rather curious about the demon has to say. Okay. Overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for betraying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and you say, that was just a joke, of course. She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. Oh. You don't get to sleep for long. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're going to get rid of the current Overlord, put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or not, and being a pretty lazy underling you choose to reply with, sounds like a lot of trouble. Friends question your loyalty. Okay. That leads to the death. Okay. I wonder what happens now that she knows. You tell them you were joking, clarify that you're totally in it to win it. Whether you or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it would be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. Beneath your shield of faux confidence, you wonder about what you're getting yourself dragged into. Follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about your plan. You're curious about if they have any idea how they're gonna go about this. They figured they'd lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directness thugs. Your friends agree and suggest that you should play the assassin. Can't back out now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Lord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. Oh no! Take off into the castle. Fuck. The Overlord will kill you for sure if they found out you were conspiring to take him out. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. Shout the humans are liars. Okay. They cried that was all your idea, and they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. Can't believe they'd tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than trust them. You're the one who didn't have to have a choice here. Shout at each other. Overlord demands silence, regardless of who was conspiring. I don't think that helped. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. Hear your traitor's friends mutter something about Plan A. Trapped in here with the Overlord and 2 humans. Room bursts into flames. Pandora screaming curses of those who betrayed you. Here joins you. The Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You were forced into the mess. You sure know that now that they would have killed you if you'd sided with her. To your surprise, the Overlord spares you. Or maybe she'd rather see you suffer instead, looking around. You've just come from one dead end to another. The maiden is crying. The hero is silent. You will all burn together. Underling's true end. So that's the true ending of everybody. No matter the perspective, the true ending remains the same. That's what makes it true. I saved a screenshot. You can't resist seeing it for yourself, though, could you? I wonder what would happen if you collect them all. Will you give it in to despair, or reset the stage? I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay. So we've seen it from two different angles. We haven't played the hero in a while. Let's go back to the hero. I love the hero. His little theme song sounds very Legend of Zelda-esque. Flee. Diplomatic. Don't destroy. Ask the maiden what's going on. Okay. The Overlord allows you two to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating their Overlord. This proves to you that demons really are foul creatures. We have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off with less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures have just noticed you, eavesdropping. The maiden takes off into the castle, and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into the Overlord's room. The maiden frantically tries to communicate what you just overheard. Demon underling barges in next, calling you liars! It's followed by a group from the entrance, who shifts the blame back onto the little one. These demons only care about themselves. How low can they be? You begin shouting at them, and the whole room dissolves into noise until the Overlord yells for everyone to shut their traps. She threatens them with violence. This Overlord is no better than her subjects. You grip your sword tightly. If you have to cut through everyone here to get this maiden to safety, you certainly will. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the runt of the litter behind. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling about this. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? The underling pounds on the door, upset that it's been betrayed. You join in, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. You are no better than them. The next moment, the Overlord has taken hold of the underling. It's crying for mercy. Is she going to kill it as retribution? It continues to cry and makes excuses, but the Overlord does nothing. To your surprise, she lets it go. Are demons capable of mercy? You guess it doesn't matter now. You'll all burn together. Oh. Hero's true end. Huh. No, nothing there? Okay. You're the maiden. I am the maiden. Introduce yourself. Skip. She lectures the underling that brought you here, who was apparently told not to leave it to their post. You wonder what cruel punishment awaits them. But to your surprise, she lets them off easy. The underling is dismissed. The Overlord turns to you, looking very interested. She squints. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. Gasp! You have to warn her. I love these images. Great job, guys. But the hero shakes his head. He says that if this is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. This isn't right, you think? What kind of hero passes up the chance to save a life? Demons have taken notice of you. It's now or never. You take off into the castle. The unreliable hero follows shortly after. Unreliable indeed. You burst into the Overlord's room, all your words spilling out at once. You should probably slow down, but there's no time. The Overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation, but clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognize from before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised. They're just a part of this evil. They were a part of this evil plot. They seemed so nice. The other demons come in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You're relieved when the Overlord demands silence. She threatens him with violence, and you think she is very Overlord-like in this moment. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. Have they locked you all in? You have a bad feeling about this. And thinking that must have jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored those demons before, you and the hero wouldn't have stumbled into this situation. If you had just pretended not to hear them, if you left as you were told, the Overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. That path isn't an option for you. You think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist. It simply must. Oh. Overlord seizes her underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but does it make any difference? Will you all burn together? Love it. I love it. I love it. Maiden's true end. So I've now got all the true ends. It can't end like this. Whew. I want to keep collecting bad ends. I want to. Okay. Bad end. Okay. We're gonna keep collecting some bad endings here. Because I think that's gonna be fun. So you're the hero. And we're going to bravely slaughter the evil creatures. Make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. Feel much stronger now. Castle's front. Sneak past these monsters to reach the Overlord. Let's go here. Diplomatic. You attempt to explain why you've come, but the monster before you is eyeing you with suspicion. And you can't help but notice the demon blood from earlier you haven't had the chance to wash off yet. Whoops. You have no choice but to fight an army in self-defense. Oh well, more experience points for you. Make your way through the castle, fending off the demons that stand in your way. You make it to the Overlord's chamber and hope you're still in time to save the maiden. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord just as you suspected, but for some reason you can't sense anything sinister. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. There's no time to hesitate. Okay. I think if I ask what's going on here... then... She instantly asked why are you covered in blood? You don't know how to respond. And then the Overlord kills you. This is your chance, hero. This was all just a big misunderstanding. You hope that she'll let the whole thing slide if you just explain yourself. You really try, but the Overlord is inconsolable. She tears you apart and the maiden watches in silence. As you die, you can't help but think, you probably deserve this. Yeah, you probably deserve this. Tragic hero end. Okay, but no, I have to go through and pick the stab. Okay. Slaughter these creatures. Skip. Be diplomatic. Skip. Ask the maiden. Skip. And then the stab. You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams, then falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it. After slight hesitation, she must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. Villagers are all pleased. Huge celebration in your name. So that was triumphant. Okay. Cool. So there's nothing really new there. I need to try something weird. Arrgh. So no matter what, he escapes. I don't think I have too much here. So skip. Shout for the hero to come save you. Put off by your sudden shouting and ask you to keep it down. You apologize. You seem to be confused, then hostile, which suddenly catches you off guard. Tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. Okay, protector, do nothing. Hero's blade pierces the Overlord, and she lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. The hero smiles and holds out your hand, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle, past the corpses of his enemies. Try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes. But then again, even then, you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle. The hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick. You take part in the festivities, regardless. Complacent maiden end. Okay. I'm only like halfway there. What in the world? Let's try and tell the maiden to leave again. Let's see if that changes things. So I don't feel like I've gotten... Skip. Tells you again that you should get lost. How rude. You just got here. Obey her. You can obey her. You don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's time to go home. Along your way, you encounter a hero. He's covered in demon blood. You were frightened by the sight of him and run away. You returned to the village alone. Everyone was very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions, and you tell them your story. As you explain that the Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here, you notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while they speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an older man. He rudely calls you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Do they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating. It must have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you have returned without the aid of a hero, they ask. You could not have possibly escaped the Overlord on your own without harm. He must be conspiring with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing that they aren't horrible creatures we know them to be, so they say. Have the people of your village always been this blinded by their fears? and hatred of things they've never cared to know? That hits home. Thank you, xenophobes and racism. That hurts so hard. Thank you, America, for making those common themes in every day. Fear blinds a lot of people. You wonder how you missed that before. You weren't exposed to it. You didn't know because you weren't exposed to it. You didn't have the chance to see it because you lived in it. You are seized by the crowd, and voices from all sides are calling for public execution. You are to be burned at the stake. You don't want to die. You wonder what would have been better to hide the truth. You don't like the thought of that. You've always lived honestly, so why has this happened? Why are you being punished? You hear the dissenting voices of your family and neighbors, but they, like you, are powerless against the momentum. They can only watch as you burn, and you can only cry for them. Oh, you are so sorry. Executed maiden end. Jeez! Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Let's encounter him then. Okay. Swell guy. Flee like a coward. On your way to the Overlord's castle, you spot a maiden heading back to the village. She couldn't have come from the Overlord's castle, could she? This may be the exact maiden you're currently seeking to rescue. You approach her with curiosity. You ask the maiden what she's doing. Doesn't she know the Overlord's castle is like right there? It's dangerous. The maiden explains that she spoke with the Overlord. It turns out the demons never had any diabolical plans to harm the village or anyone in it. Oh. Believe her story. You have no reason to assume she's lying to you, even though her story is kind of hard to believe. You feel like you should trust her. You tell her you're pretty surprised everyone has been wrong about demons all along. Townspeople must be informed of this immediately. Two of you return to the village. They've all been so worried. They praise you for your bravery. But the maiden quickly sets the record straight. There was nothing she needed to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers look at you for explanation. You politely inform them that isn't your story to tell. You merely ran into her on the way to the castle. She explains that the Overlord isn't interested in capturing maidens or anything of the sort. Villagers turn to you again in disbelief. You aren't being subtle in how little they trust their maiden's story. You totally believe her, but to placate these fair citizens, you volunteer to speak to the demons personally, just in case. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You're too busy thinking what a great and reliable hero you are to hear what they're saying. Town's elder's voice breaks you out of your thoughts. He implores you to meet with the Overlord immediately. Says they'll all keep an eye on the maiden until you return. Figure that sounds alright, but the mood is kind of intense for some reason. Did you miss something? You aren't sure what's going on, but you get the feeling it might be bad to leave the maiden on her own. But she suddenly takes off running. Oh, you thought the two of you were in this together. Their actions have convinced the crowd she's obviously been a lighter and a witch from the start. People are shouting for you to hunt her and her demon friends down immediately already, but that doesn't sound like a very heroic task. You can't help but feel these people are wrong. It's up to you to catch up to her and talk to the demons in order to clear up this misunderstanding. You valiantly dash after the maiden toward the Overlord's castle. But you were too late. Through the unguarded gates, you spot a group of demons surrounding a body. The maiden. She was a fool to have trusted demons, after all. Your heroic blood is boiling. You'll avenge her death. You charge through the gates to eliminate every demon you see. What the fuck are you doing? Killing all my soldiers? The The Overlord is angry and they vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. They clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easy. You're both dangerously low in health when everything goes black. Your quest has come to an abrupt end. Unlucky hero end. Wow. Oh, I love that. Hold on. This is very different than what I thought was going to happen here. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the maiden. And then we got to get back to the underling. Yep, we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to obey her. Along the way, you encounter a hero. Yes, what you're doing. Don't you know the Overlord's castle is, like, right there? You explain everything that happened. He is very surprised. The demons don't seem to be as malicious as you were raised to believe. The two of you return to the village, hoping to communicate this to everyone. They all have been so worried and are so very glad the hero brought you back. You quickly set the record straight. You weren't rescued because there was nothing to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers seem confused and look to the hero for an explanation. He tells them he only ran into you on his way to the castle and that this isn't really his story to tell. Explain to them how you met the Overlord and that she's not actually interested in capturing the maidens or any other means like that. The villagers look again at the hero for confirmation. You feel a little miffed that they seem to prefer his word over yours, but you don't say anything about it. The hero proclaims that he believes your story, but volunteers to go talk to the demons himself, just to make absolutely sure. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You hear words like trickery and demon sympathizer being thrown around, which makes you frown. You're pretty shocked that everyone has them to believe you. Does the hero even trust you? You aren't even sure anymore. The man implores the hero to go speak to the Overlord immediately. He says you should be held a prisoner, so they're dangerous until the hero returns. Much to your disbelief, the crowd agrees with him. Because, of course, if you were conspiring with demons, they can't afford to let the guard down. The whole village would be slaughtered by monsters. The hero isn't saying anything. You'll be tied up and tossed into a cell at this rate. If you're going to be held captive by anyone, it's going to be the Overlord, not your fellow countrymen. Oh. Leave on your own leads to the death. Let's go resolute. Bully announced that you'll accompany the hero to prove yourself. You'd rather risk what's out there instead of staying in a village that doesn't trust you. No one seems to know how to react. You grab the hero by the wrist and take off before anyone stops you. Near the castle's interest, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. Uh-huh. You have to warn her. Hero shakes his head. Okay, so it gets it back onto the other path. It's now or never. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Got it. Skip. Introduce yourself. Skip. Obey her. Skip. Grab the hero and run. Leave on your own. You can prove yourself without anyone's help. You can make a run for the Overlord's castle, leaving the hero behind. Suspicious group of demons stands just outside the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. They immediately notice you overheard them. First underling you recognized from before is the first to do something about it. This is just the way it has to be. They suddenly attack you. In that moment, you regret having ever trusted demons. You die instantly. Slaughtered maiden end. The maiden just gets demolished in all of these. Okay, so we're back to the underling. Even so, the underling's not going to, like... Really change a lot of things here, right? Okay, so right now, it's back in the underlings' court, so they have to be disloyal. Skip. Hear her out. Skip. Disloyal. And skip. You and your friends turn to notice the maiden from earlier has overheard your entire conversation. It'd be bad for you if the Overlord found out about this. Use the maiden for killing practice. Toss her in the dungeon. You and your friends seize the maiden and bring her to the dungeon under the castle. It's empty save for the decorative skulls. They're only there to make it feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. You leave her in the cell to continue scheming with your friends. But now a hero has arrived at the front gates. He's asking about a maiden, perhaps the very one you just locked up. The gatekeeper, who must have seen everything, tells the hero exactly what happened. What an idiot, you think. Why give the hero an excuse to start slaughtering us? Hero yells, prepare to face justice, and other such cliché hero lines before driving a sword into the gatekeeper's torso. You're small compared to a lot of your friends, so you're able to slip away without getting cut up by that sword. You get to thinking, if this hero took down the Overlord for you, everything might actually work out in your favor. You wait for things to die down outside before poking your head out. You spot the Overlord and the hero locked in battle. They've worn each other down, making this very easy for you. Once an opening presents itself, you hit the back of the hero's head, knocking him out. What are you doing? I couldn't tell you that. Couldn't you tell this was a duel? You don't respond. You have to carry out the assassination. You tackle her and rip her to shreds with your claws until she stops moving. You finish off the hero next. You can't let him revive and come after you later. Kind of a cheap victory, but it doesn't make any difference. Anyone who managed to survive comes crawling out of their hiding places. You are now ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you, as you had betrayed your overlord. Oh man! Lord Underling! Wow! Okay, so... Captor. Let's set diplomatic and let's go back through. Skip. Believe her story. Oh wait, hold on. She can't be trusted. You aren't sure you should listen to the maiden. You've been taught this whole life that demons are evil. You ask if she's sure about all this, but she gets very upset. You think she would lie to you. She storms off before you can say anything else. You decide to return to the village, certain that she must have been the kidnapped maiden you were sent to rescue. Glad that took care of itself. Take your time walking home. Good job. Job well done today, you think to yourself. As you walk past the town square, you notice the whole village is crowded around. Is that the maiden you saw earlier? She's bound to a wooden stake. The crowd is in a frenzy. Smoke begins to rise, and you stand idly by as the flames consume the maiden. She must have done something horrible to deserve that. She seemed nice, though, you think. But evil comes in all forms, you reassure yourself. You decide to call it a day and return to your house. But you can't escape this sinking feeling. Maybe you aren't cut out for this role. Hoo-hoo-hoo! Spectator, hero end. Frickin' so good. Okay, that brings us to the end of the day. I hope you're enjoying this. We're going to keep going. Thank you so much. I love you all. And I'll see you next time. Bye.